England were 35 minutes away from their first World Cup final since 1966. The scoreboard said 1-0, the stadium said England. And then, nothing. Not a counter, not a press, not even a heartbeat. Just defenders, more defenders, and a slow-motion surrender the footballing world will be analysing for decades. This is the story of how Argentina didn't just beat England, they suffocated them, piece by piece, decision by decision, until the three Lions had nothing left to breathe. 2 late goals, a 2-1 win, another miraculous comeback. But calling this luck undersells the architecture behind it. This was tactical patience, psychological warfare, and knowing exactly when to tighten the screw. 7 layers. Let's break it down. Layer 1. The plan before a ball was kicked. Argentina's strategy was clear from the first whistle. Disrupt, provoke, brawl. Leandro Paredes left one on Jude Bellingham almost immediately. This wasn't random aggression. It was premeditated. Argentina wanted to shatter England's rhythm through fouls, provocation, and constant referee pressure. When you disrupt a team's tempo in the opening minutes of a World Cup semi-final, you plant a seed of doubt that grows quietly for 90 minutes. The numbers backed it up. Neither side recorded a shot in the opening 30 minutes, the first time both teams had been held shotless that long to start a match since 1966. 0 shots in a World Cup semi-final. That's not an accident. That's Argentina executing exactly what they wanted. Layer 2, Messi's psychological shadow. At 39, Messi's influence was less about what he did and more about what England feared he might do. Bellingham was released wide to press Nahuel Molina at right back, specifically to keep Jed Spence in a secure position against Messi. England were shaping their entire defensive structure around one man who doesn't even defend. Argentina effectively protect Messi with 9 outfield players, so England committed extra bodies to neutralize a player who wasn't contributing defensively. That's the Messi tax. Every team pays it. England paid it in full. When Messi was fouled and Elliot Anderson received a yellow card, it wasn't just a booking, it was a warning. A midfield that can't tackle freely is already half-beaten. Messi didn't need to score, he just needed to exist. And England's entire shape bent around him. Layer 3. How Argentina cracked England's structure. Argentina's double pivot grew increasingly fluid around England's low block, creating a 3-1 structure to progress play outside England's shape, often towards Messi, and to generate chances from the half spaces. They weren't just throwing bodies forward. They were surgically identifying gaps between England's defensive and midfield lines. McAllister's runs from deep alongside Alvarez's dynamism across defenders increased pressure on a tiring backline. England started showing signs of disconnect between their defensive and midfield units. When those two lines stop talking, you're not one team anymore. You're 2 groups of people wondering why the walls keep closing in. Layer 4, the goal that changed everything, and the decision that ended England's World Cup. The 55th minute. Gordon smashed England ahead after being picked out by Rodgers' pinpoint delivery. Morgan Rodgers, first start of the tournament, World Cup semi-final, delivered the cross. Gordon converted. For one beautiful fleeting moment, England were on the doorstep of history. And then Thomas Tuchel knocked. Ezri Konsa came on in the 72nd minute. England switched to a back 5. Gordon, the man who just scored, was the man who got hooked. You took off the match winner to bring on a third centre-back in the 72nd minute, with a 1-goal lead. Against Argentina, Argentina saw it immediately. They had prepared for Saka or Madueke, pace in transition. Instead, Tuchel handed them a team retreating into a shell. Between Gordon's opener and Martinez's winner, England managed just 12% possession. 12%. That's not game management. That's hiding under the duvet hoping the storm passes. Layer 5. Scaloni's substitution masterclass. While Tuchel added defenders, Scaloni did the opposite. A triple substitution. 3 fresh players, 3 injections of energy, 3 new problems for a tired England backline to solve simultaneously. One manager adding locks, the other adding keys. Then came Lautaro Martinez. And this matters. Lautaro presses intensely, and largely compensates for Messi's limited defensive work. Scaloni brought on the player who presses hardest into a game where England were already suffocating. The press became relentless. England had no outlet. Kane and Bellingham grew increasingly isolated. In the 21 minutes after the Konsa substitution, England's possession dropped to 7.2%. 8 touches in the opposition half. 0 crosses, 8 touches. In 21 minutes of a World Cup semi-final. Layer 6. The dam breaks. Mac Allister crashed a header off the inside of the post, then another effort off the post. Pickford was heroic, but there's only so long you can hold a fortress your own manager is dismantling from the inside. In the 85th minute, Fernandes bent in a brilliant finish from distance after an intelligently worked short corner. It felt inevitable. That's the psychological endgame. When a goal feels inevitable, the defending team has already lost the mental battle. England's players knew it was coming. The crowd knew it was coming. The only people who seemed surprised were wearing white. Layer 7, the dagger, and the man holding it. Messi collected the ball after a Mac Allister shot hit the post, kept possession long enough for the play to reset, then lobbed across to Martinez for the winner in the 92nd minute. Calm, collected, reset. A 39-year-old man in the dying seconds of a World Cup semi-final, the calmest person in the stadium. On Fernandez's equalizer, defenders were busy marking Messi, who crossed for the finish. On the winner, same story. Messi, the architect. Messi, the assist. Both goals. One man. It was the 3rd time since 2019 that England lost a major championship semi-final or final after taking the lead. Same script every time. Solid start. Go 1-0 up. Desperate rearguard. Defeat. Harry Kane said it plainly. Once we went 1-0 up, we seemed to just try and hold on, which at this level is just not enough. So did Argentina win this, or did England hand it to them? Honestly, both. Argentina were brilliant in their patience, their structure, their belief. They never panicked when they went behind. They tightened, adjusted, and trusted Messi to be Messi when it mattered most. But England showed Argentina exactly where the exits were, then bricked them all up themselves. Tactics are only as good as the belief behind them. Argentina believed they could win from 1-0 down with 5 minutes left. England stopped believing the moment they scored, and the team that stops believing first always loses. Subscribe, hit the bell, and tell me in the comments, Tuchel's fault? Or was this always going to end this way? This conversation is far from over, and neither is Argentina.